Hello everyone, Gijoe here, and this is part 3 of my shapeways.com order. And before you see my Victory City markers as well as my Capital City markers. Now, the company that designed the Capital City pieces, which are already painted red, is a company named Ebard Models. And they do a fantastic job, and as you saw in my previous video, the detail on these is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, these are absolutely fine. In fact, better detail than the industrial complexes that I just showed you. But the great thing about Ebard is the price is good. These were essentially $3 a piece when you buy the Capital set. However, they don't have all the capitals. So, you know, they don't have Ottawa, they don't have Honolulu or Hong Kong, Shanghai, Manila, those places like that. So I actually emailed Ebard yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and asked them about if they ever had any intention on creating some more of these capital pieces. And I got a nice response back from them actually today. And they said that I was not, of course, the first person to make that request, that several people have done so. And they said that they are open to making some more capital pieces. The issue is they don't know what buildings to fashion them after. So, for instance, Manila, Hong Kong, Shanghai, they're not sure what to do there. I gave a comment back to them saying that perhaps someplace like Honolulu, it might be kind of neat if they created the clock tower in downtown Honolulu that is stuck on the hour that Pearl Harbor was attacked on December 7th. So that's probably one of the most, for those of you that maybe have been to Pearl Harbor or have seen it, that's probably one of the most predominant structures that at least was there in the 40s. Of course, you could also do Diamond Head, the Diamond Head Mountain, which is just off of Waikiki Beach. As far as ideas on Hong Kong, Shanghai, and all that, I thought maybe some type of just ancient Chinese village-looking thing, or I even made a comment of perhaps even some type of just a generic city that would work for several locations, whether it be Hong Kong, Shanghai, what have you. Now, this piece right here is a piece that I got. It's also a capital piece technically, and it is the Sydney Bridge, so for Australia. And I'll get that painted up and put it in red, or paint it red rather. So anyway, so if any of you out there have some ideas on possible capital pieces, like I said, Ebard is open to suggestions. So if we can maybe as a community come up with some great ideas, then it sounds like they are at least willing to produce some other capitals. So anyways, now the frosted clear ones that you see before you right here, this is a whole different set. This set is called the city markers, the Victory City markers, and it's from a designer shop called Ossels, O-S-S-E-L-S. And the neat thing about this is they have a lot more options to select from. So as you can see right here, I've got Rome. So there's a Rome Colosseum, and you can see the buildings kind of around it. Then you have the Brandenburg Gate for Berlin. It's hard to tell the detail because they're not painted, but I think the detail is pretty good, especially for a piece being this small. Here you have Tokyo, of course. All right, and for the Axis. Now for the Allies, of course, you have the Eiffel Tower in Paris. So as you can see, the theme of this, they go with some type of iconic building encircled by smaller buildings just to emulate some type of city. Here we have Big Ben for London. This is really good detail. I think this is going to be great once I paint it up. This one right here is Moscow. You see, well, this is harder to see because it's white and it's kind of you can't really see the detail, but the detail is good. Once I put the primer and paint on here, I think you'll be able to tell a little bit better. Of course, now this is actually Stalingrad. And what I did was, they did not have a city marker for Leningrad. So what I did was, I just ordered 2 of these, and I'll use one for Stalingrad, one for Leningrad. So, anyways. And then, of course, you have San Francisco. Right? And you can see on the bottom. Whoops. Again, this is by Ossel's, the shop Ossel's, that Shapeways prints for them. And then, of course, this is Pearl Harbor. And it's really hard to tell here, but it says Honolulu. Whoops. It says Honolulu on the back. When you flip it over, I don't know if you can see this detail. I'll have to get the right angle. But these little kind of bumps right here, those are actual battleships. And so this is supposed to be Pearl Harbor. So when I get this painted up, you'll be able to see the island, and then the harbor, and then the battleships there on Battleship Row. So I think that'll be kind of cool. So I really like this. The details for the Ossel shop are really good. The only issue with that is, once again, you don't have all of the victory cities. There's nothing for Manila. There's nothing for China. I'm sorry, Hong Kong or Shanghai. There's nothing for Calcutta, Warsaw. There's nothing for Sydney. I think this goes with that. And there's nothing for Ottawa or Leningrad. So that's why I had to grab another Stalingrad piece. Now, they do have a Washington, D.C. one, but it wouldn't print. They said that it just wouldn't print. So they had to cancel my order on that. And that's one thing about the Shapeways marketplace. Apparently, if having the design on their website doesn't necessarily mean that they will be able to print it. Now, I'm not a businessman, but I would think that, when you get a design, maybe you run a test of it, make sure that you can print it before you put it on your website to sell. But nonetheless, they were very kind, and they informed me pretty much right off the bat. So when you decide to buy one, I think you'll probably know fairly quickly on whether or not you can get it printed once it goes to pre-production, what have you. So these are great. I like these a lot. Again, the only dilemma is, even with the Capital set and the Victory City set, I'm still short. So I'm trying to come up with ideas and solutions for that. Now, if you will look, you can see the difference between the Capital set here that I have painted from Ebard, and then the Victory City set from Ossel's. Again, I think the quality is good on both. Part of me kind of likes this Coliseum by itself. But then again, the whole Victory City aspect, I kind of like the way that they have some buildings surrounding the Coliseum. So once I get this painted up, I think I'll be able to make a better determination as to which one I prefer. All right, so that's the Victory City thing. And oh, by the way, these run about $3.50 if you want to get the white, just the white plastic here that's polished, to about $5.50 for the frosted ultra detail. So I went ahead with most of them and got the frosted ultra detail. The reason I didn't get the frosted ultra detail on this is because it was not available. It wasn't an option, so that's why I went ahead and got that one. All right, so the last thing I want to show you before we go is over here. What I have here, these are a few more cities, city markers that I have, and these are from a company, a designer called Jeff McDowall Design. Yes, Jeff McDowall Design. And my intent was to have these replace some of the items that Ossel's and Ebard's did not have. And this was an attempt right here to emulate Shanghai. This is called the Ancient Chinese Village, and it's a great piece. I think, the design quality is great. I like the the clarity. I like the detail of it. The only beef I have is that it's way too big, as you can see. So this is the size I actually need, and that's obviously going to be way too big. That's essentially going to take all of Kwang Tung if I put this in Hong Kong. So these are not going to work, but this was my intent, was to use these for Hong Kong and Shanghai. This one I was going to use for Manila, but again, I like the detail. It would work if the size was smaller. So maybe that's something that Ossels or Ebards can jump on and make something similar to this, but a little bit smaller. Now this is Cairo, and this was my mistake. They actually had two Cairo pieces. One Cairo piece was actually made by Ossels, which is the same design company that designed these smaller Victory City markers. And I should have gotten it. I accidentally clicked on this one, and this is also a Cairo piece, but it's Cairo something and has a 2 by it. So this is by a separate company called Cool Miniatures, and it is frosted ultra detail, and it looks great. I like it. I just had the same issue in that it's just too big. So when I put it into Egypt over here, as you'll see, it takes up way too much space. Way too much space. So I'm going to email customer service, and the great thing about shapeways.com is they do have a return policy, and I think you need to notify them within 10 days, and I think they'll either refund or however that works, but I'll let you know more about that once I actually do it. These ran $5 a piece, and not a bad price. And again, the product is great quality. Just for me, it's a little bit too big. And they do have a money-back guarantee, as I said, if you notify them within 10 days. So, anyways, these are my new custom pieces. I wanted to go ahead and show you these before I painted them. Again, I'm very, very pleased with them. My only desire is that they actually had enough to finish out the entire Victory City or Capital set. So again, if you're out there and you have some ideas for Ebards on what kind of buildings that they can use for places like Ottawa, maybe some of you guys up in Canada, like General Hand Grenade or Young Grasshopper, maybe you can have some ideas for that. And so anyway, so if you have some ideas for some other capital city markers or even Ossels, I haven't contacted Ossels yet on possibilities of finishing out their Victory City set, but I'll try to do that here sometime soon. So anyways, I hope this helps, and once I get these painted up, I might pop back on here and just kind of show you what I have as a finished product. But hope you enjoy, hope this was helpful to you, and we'll see you next time.